Welcome to the GCN show from Lviv, Ukraine!
Welcome to the GCN show.
Coming up this week, can cycling be made safer? And is more personal protective gear the answer? This new helmet is sparking quite the debate.
We're also paying tribute to the world's greatest ever sprinter, Mark Cavendish, who has announced his retirement date, plus Crocs for gravel riders and the toughest Grand Tour for decades.
Yes, and we've also got to say a thank you to Tom Hashimi for the intro, by the way, because that was the end of his 1,700 kilometre ride from the UK to Ukraine to raise money for landmine removal. Well done, Tom. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that this year's Giro is shaping up to have the smallest number of finishers of any Grand Tour since the ill-fated 1998 Tour de France and the mother of all doping scandals.
This time though, it's all about COVID, crashes and catastrophic weather. The poor riders are copping a bit of grief for being soft, not riding in conditions as tough as the riders of the 80s and 90s.
To which Geraint Thomas responded,
a lot of other things happened in the 80s and 90s that we don't do now as well, which we're proud of. So, yeah, they can say what they want.
Mic drop.
Brilliant. The last week of the Giro is shaping up to be a belter though, so make sure you watch it on GCN+. You can literally watch every kilometre if you've got the time, or pick and choose if you haven't.
That's right. We also learned this week that a new shoe has been released that is literally the visual embodiment of gravel cycling tech.
We present the Bodge Croc.
A croc with built-in storage that then turns into toe warmers. Absolute genius, just like cargo shorts and helmet storage, the future of gravel is clearly tying stuff to your shoes.
The marketing guff is straight out of the gravel playbook as well. These are inspired by the necessitating membrane and inner eyelid that allows crocodiles to clear dust and keep their eyes moist without blinking.
What?
Adaptability and this refusal to miss a beat is central to our inspiration.
Is it wrong that I want a pair?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
A product that a lot of people do seem to want, though, is more protection when cycling, like a full-face helmet for commuting.
Wow, do they? So the Beam have just launched a crowdfunding campaign for exactly that. And to be fair, it has smashed its €10,000 goal 8 times over.
Wow.
It's not bad, is it?
No, the helmet is called the Virgo, and it promises to be the safest e-bike helmet out there. The big talking point, aside perhaps from the built-in Terminator visor,
that is cool.
It is pretty cool, is the full-face element, built-in guard for your chin and jaw.
Yeah, now we should say that it has been designed with an eye on speed pedelecs as well. So that is a class of e-bikes that are restricted to 28 miles an hour or 45 kilometers per hour. And that's getting off a motorbike speeds there, isn't it? Yeah,
True. The Beam point out that with e-bikes, more people can ride faster with less effort. This increased speed demands a high level of protection, and speed headgear is no longer enough in urban areas.
Yeah, and they say that because, in their opinion, falls are more frequent when riding in urban areas, and riders often don't have time to absorb the impact on the ground with their arms, which is kind of also not something you should do anyway, because then you just break your wrists or your collarbone. Anyway, often they say it's because it's a surprise fall and therefore it causes injuries to the face, which is not protected by your conventional lid.
Now, e-bike safety is a hot topic and has been since the cycling paradise of the Netherlands reported a sharp increase in cycling-related injuries and deaths. They were attributed to older people riding e-bikes and being able to go faster as a result of the motors.
Yeah. Full face urban helmets though, I suspect there's going to be a fair few of you screaming, what the actual flip are these? And if you feel that cycling helmets are a waste of space as it is, and I know that some of you do feel like that, then I can kind of imagine why you might be screaming.
Yeah, the logic goes that while bike helmets protect our heads, forcing people to wear helmets has been shown to put people off cycling in the first place.
Yep.
Plus, they give people a false sense of security and it places the responsibility of safety on the bike rider.
That's right, as opposed to the people actually putting us at risk, which are motorists, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you can do something to make cycling potentially safer, why would you not?
I think so. I think it just depends on the speeds you're travelling at and weighing up your own risk. Like for myself, if I'm going out in an urban environment on an e-bike, I'm not going to travel too fast. I'm probably doing it for dropping the kids off somewhere or maybe picking up some shopping. I'm not going to be bombing around, and I feel confident in my own ability. But then you also get people who are getting on bikes because it's an e-bike. They maybe haven't been riding as much, and maybe they don't have the skills to get themselves out of situations that I would.
Yeah, it's a fair point, I guess, isn't it? I think for me, it's more about the perception of risk, isn't it? Because you're familiar with cycling, having been a pro, like you feel comfortable on that bike. So even though technically you might be just as much of a risk from an idiot car driver or van driver as someone that's just started, because you are confident on the bike, you don't feel the need to wear a full face helmet. And so where I think these are a good idea is that if they empower people who are too nervous to cycle to ride bikes, then I think that's a good thing, right? Like, I wouldn't personally feel the need to have a full face cycling helmet. But if someone does feel the need, and it then means that they feel like they're able to cycle to the shops or cycle to work or whatever, then that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think with the power of the sort of e-bikes these are designed for too, you are travelling at pretty fast speeds. So probably is a safe bet to have a full face helmet on. Yeah.
Now, interestingly, the Beam actually have hinted that they might have like a performance version coming for road cyclists that want a full face option. Where I struggle with all of this stuff is coming back to that point about putting the element of responsibility on the cyclist to protect themselves rather than the motorist or our local authorities for providing bike infrastructure. I hate the thought that people will look at that and go, oh, that's what cyclists need. They need a full face helmet because cycling's dangerous. Because I fundamentally don't believe that cycling is dangerous. And so whilst I think that if people do wear that helmet because it makes them feel safer, that's fine. I just wouldn't want anyone to ever think that they need that in order to ride to the shops, because I don't think you do.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you do have those bike lanes in place, you have better education about how to, behave on roads around cyclists to mitigate the sort of accidents which we can potentially see, then I think that's definitely going to save lives and injuries over wearing a full face helmet.
I think a lot of people just worry about travelling around on two wheels. I was thinking this when I was in Nepal with Hank the other week. We were in Kathmandu. Well, in fact, everywhere in Nepal. There's so many people on motorbikes. Like, motorbikes are just the way people get around with, one person on or two people on. And then I think back to, how people perceive motorbikes here in the UK. And it's like, oh, a motorbike's a death trap. That'll kill you, that thing. And you just think, well, no, it won't. Not if you ride it steadily. I don't know. Let us know what you think about this. Firstly, full face cycle helmet. Are you one of the crowdfunders? Do you think it's a good idea? Does, like it does to me and Conor, give you slightly nervous feelings about it, that actually that's going to end up becoming the norm? I don't know. Get involved in the comments section. I'd be very, very interested to read what you have to say about it. Now, before we get on to topics of Mark Cavendish, let's first check in with hack/Bodge. Nice backhander.
Yeah, volley. First up this week from Novak Maric, zip tie madness will make Sai furious. Probably think it will do. Photos taken from somewhere in Bosnia.
Well, it doesn't make me furious. It just makes me sad and disappointed, if I'm honest.
I'm not sure which is worse.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what an absolute car crash of a zip tie frenzy. That is just vile. Look at all of those sharp ends. I mean, that thing is like a weapon, isn't it?
That might pop your ankles.
Oh my goodness me. Tear them to pieces, wouldn't it? No, that's absolutely vile.
10 zip ties in there.
Awful. I'm pleased to see that 17% of you, only 17% think that's a hack. And I suspect you've done that just to piss me off, haven't you, basically? So 83% say it's a bodge. I think it's a bodge.
I'm saying hack to troll Sai. Moving on to the next one.
You're not really. Honestly, right, okay. The Walls Plus 2 has sent in custom aluminium rollers. They weigh a ton, they say, and don't adjust, but oh so smooth. I mean, I can't see why you've made yourself some rollers, but the fact that you have made rollers that look nice, I think that's kind of cool.
I like them. I think they're really cool. Imagine digging a little hole for them in the ground so they'll flush.
Yeah.
It'd be proper cool, and they're wide. And they sound like they're very smooth.
Do you ride rollers though? Did you ever ride rollers?
I did.
Did you?
Ages ago.
I thought they were rubbish.
They were just a bit more entertaining when you didn't have anything in front of you and you just listened to the FM radio. Now there's a lot more going on.
I was going to say, I'm never a fan of a roller personally, but still, nice nicely done, nice execution. I'm going to say hack, because some people do like rollers.
I'd say hack because, I mean, they're beautiful.
They are, yeah.
Aluminium rollers.
Quite intrigued to know how you've done it, the walls +2. Anyway, 84% of you lot, so that's a hack as well. So that's pretty good going, isn't it? Those are as good, almost exactly, as the zip tie one was bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Funny that, isn't it? There you go. Right then, next up.
Yeah, moving on to AP Jill 17, chain marker. I saw someone in an earlier GCN show had used a gold chain quick link, which is a good idea. Some of my chains don't have this link, and I've been using fluorescent yellow nail varnish for a few years now. Looks really well and doesn't rub off easily. Great when moving the chain and makes my nails look stunning too.
Nice. I like that. So yeah, we're advocates of having a funky chain link, so it's useful to know when you start and stop lubing your chain. And that's actually a really good thing, isn't it?
It wouldn't like dry into the pins, would it?
Well, I don't know.
Just to be devil's advocate.
I mean, it might rob you of a microscopic proportion of a watt, potentially.
Yeah, don't tell Alex Patton.
No, but I think that looks pretty cool. I think everyone will be doing that soon.
Good idea. Okay,
Just
right.
a bling link, you could call it.
A bling link.
There's a little business idea, bling link. So it's like a quick link, but really bright, and it's designed so that you always know where it is. A bling link.
You're a genius, Simon.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm just like a marketing legend. Right then. Next up, cycling overland, roadside through axle spacers. Okay, this looks a little bit like the through axle derailleur protector from last week, but on the other side. Anyway, they said they were cycling in Japan. Their through axle broke whilst putting the front wheel back on. It didn't have a spare, and they were in a remote part of Japan, so nothing was available. So they mail ordered a cheap axle online, but it was the wrong size. So they took the lids off some juice bottles and fashioned them into makeshift spacers for the front axle. Oh my good God, that's terrifying.
That's been terrifying.
That is absolutely. I mean, I can see why you've done it, and I feel like that's cool, in that you've been able to carry on with your bike touring.
No, it's too much for me. I was about to say hack, but it's too much.
Your front wheel held in place with plastic bottle tops. I mean, it's unlikely to go anywhere in a hurry if and when they fail, but even so, that does feel slightly risky.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I prefer to drink my milk cold. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, 63% of you lot say that's a hack. So there's obviously some people that are more gung-ho than us. Maybe we need full-face cycling helmets, mate.
Maybe we do. I mean, it's a definition of a hack. It's gotten back out on the road, but I just think it's
bit too risky.
Too risky. I'm going for a bodge.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a bodge.
Maybe throw in a couple of zip ties and you'd be laughing. Right then, the last one.
I feel queasy.
Oh, that was the last one. I feel robbed. Oh well.
There you go. Hacker Force has bodge.
Yeah, keep them coming in next week. Upload them to the GCN app, and we'll pick out some more absolute pearlers next week. And of course, you can vote on the ones that are going to be in the GCN show next week. So head over to the GCN app for that.
And now it's time for cycling shorts.
Now, before we start cycling shorts, something's been bothering me, Connor. What on earth does "I like my milk served cold" mean? Because you just sort of let it go in hack or bodge there, and I kind of was like, oh yeah. But what on earth does that mean? Why is it relevant to through axles?
I think I was looking for the wrong expression, but I reckon because I like my milk cold, I'd rather drink milk cold than have warm milk which has slightly gone off. Because you're risking it then. It's like having sour milk. You don't know if it's gone to the point of making you sick or not. But you could potentially still drink it, like riding a bike with a through axle for a drinks bottle lid. I think it makes perfect sense.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, move on.
All right. It is time now for cycling shorts. First off, it's time to begin saying our farewells to Mark Cavendish, isn't it? One of the few remaining pros that actually raced against me and Dan. And when I say raced against, kind of,
The power miles don't quite stack up, do they?
No, they don't really stack up, do they?
It's quite staggering, though, what the man has achieved. Mark, that is not Si.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. 53 Grand Tour stage wins, 34 of which were at the Tour de France, which equals Eddie Merckx's all-time record. In total, he has won 161 races since 2005. 161!
Yeah, and don't forget that includes a World Championship title on the road, many on the track, Milan-San Remo, possibly, in my mind, his greatest ever sprint.
That was a banger.
And then a silver medal at the Rio Olympics as well. So, Yeah, not bad.
That's pretty staggering. This isn't the end though, just yet. He isn't retiring tomorrow, folks.
Nope.
After an emotional press conference at the Giro d'Italia a few days ago, Cav explained how this would be his last racing season, but he's still going to have a crack at the all-time Tour de France stage record this July.
Yeah, he's given himself a little bit of time to find a job, hasn't he? When he retires, so he's saying he's going to retire, but he just needs to find a job, so that he can make a living at the end of his career.
I think we should try and take him bike packing. Get in touch, Cav.
Oh my goodness me! Well, is he going to be as good as his arch nemesis Marcel Kittel at bike packing? He's a natural, isn't he? Connor's taken him out bike packing a couple of times. Now. We're digressing slightly here, aren't we? His massive palmares still has this final chapter to be written then, doesn't it? The big question, can he get one last stage of the Tour de France this year and beat Eddie Merckx's record?
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I reckon yes, because I think he's been looking real good form at this Giro.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a yes as well. Sean Kelly was on the World of Cycling yesterday. He thinks yes as well. The point is, as well, if he does win one at the Tour de France, his Cav, one is not enough. Once the dam breaks, he's just going to keep on winning. So I reckon he'll end up with 37 stage victories. Imagine that, yeah. He's going to do a hat-trick at this year's Tour de France. Is that a hat-trick? 35, 36? Yep, it is. Right then, now, as many of you know, I live in fear of death by cows. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to kill me, mind. I'm just fairly sure that that's their intention. But the Guardian newspaper reported that a cyclist in Vancouver was knocked off his bike by a black bear.
Kevin Milner hit the bear, kissed it as he flew over it, and then completely totaled himself on landing. As he lay broken in the dirt, the bear who'd initially run off then came back.
No.
To munch grass.
Okay. Now, you might say that that's exactly what cows do, munch grass. But, to put it in some kind of perspective, out of a population of 750,000 black bears, there is only one human fatality per year on average in North America. Now, when you compare that to cows, 20 times more dangerous, 20 times more fatalities from cows than black bears in North America.
That's not quite true, though, is it?
What?
Well, there are 750,000 black bears in the USA.
Yeah.
Do you know how many cows there are?
No, and I try not to think about it, Connor.
92 million.
What?
92 million.
92 million cows. That is a lot of burgers.
That's a lot of burgers.
That is a lot of burgers. Right word, okay.
Back to the Giro now, though, and tempers have been fraying somewhat off the bike, it appears, with the Education Easy Post, team boss Jonathan Volter stoking the fires on Twitter and having a slight dig at French rider Thibaut Pinot.
Yeah, so this came after the 13th stage of the Giro, to Crans, Montana, in which Pinot aggressively went for the win, but instead he missed that and seemed to get involved in more of a verbal standoff with one of Volter's riders, Alexander Capeda, for not pulling through.
Yeah, we think Volters may have regretted the exchange, however, after getting an absolute roasting back from Pinot himself, with even Lance Armstrong weighing in.
Yeah. I mean, Pinot's was a very good response. Armstrong just fully went for it, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, like, pulling no punches there. I don't think those guys like each other very much.
No, you get the impression they're not the best of friends.
Yeah.
Not sure what went on there.
No. Well, I mean, I think we know what went on. But anyway, right. We must admit, though, that we did get the popcorn out as that one unfolded. Even Pro Cycling Stats got involved as well.
Yeah, everyone's piling in.
Yeah, now the other week we were waxing lyrical, or I was anyway, about the first mountain bike World Cup, which you can watch on GCN Plus. It's on demand, and then the next one will be live on there as well. We also mentioned the new Pinarello mountain bike, ridden to victory by Tom Pidcock, and also to second place by Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
GMBN were over in the Czech Republic and have got a cheeky first look at the bike if you want to check it out.
Yeah, it looks absolutely mint. I also like this that Rich spotted in the pits, a Cervelo full suspension bike for Jumbo-Visma's Milan Vader. Possibly the coolest name in cycling,
that is a cool
Milan
name,
Vader, yeah. Anyway, instead of a rear shock for the short track, the bike had a piece of 3D printed titanium instead.
Mountain bikers were loving that. The most roady bit of tech ever. Take a full suspension mountain bike, then 3D print something to make it rigid.
Brilliant. The only thing missing from that bike was a pair of bar ends. but he's probably got some 3D printed for next round. Some more tech now, another Kickstarter in fact actually, this time it is a track bike. So Strom Cycles have designed a bike which they hope can level the playing field in world-class track racing.
They reckon it'll be the fastest bike out there, designed by some industry heavyweights with the aim of rivaling the machines ridden by the likes of Great Britain, Australia and Denmark.
That's right. So, it's $3,400 for the frame set, which is actually a pretty good deal. When you compare it to the bike used by the GB squad, for example, the Hope Lotus track bike, that's $20,000. Apparently, and I say apparently because it blows me away every time I say it, the average cost for a track rider's equipment at the Tokyo Olympics was €250,000. Now, bear in mind, there are some track riders who turn up with like a £5,000 bike or something. Can you imagine how much is being invested per rider by nations like UK, Denmark, Australia?
That's insane, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Absolutely insane, and that wouldn't even take into account my food budget. Speaking of insane, we were talking about riders getting soft these days. To put in stark contrast, check out the trailer for this week's GCN Plus film release. This is a must-watch, the infamous Gavia stage of the 1988 Giro.
The Giro d'Italia has been writing human dramas for well over a century. We think of Charlie Gaulle in 1956, riding through a blizzard on Monte Bondone to claim an improbable Maglia Rosa. Or 6 years later, when half the peloton abandoned on the Passo Role. However, one stage in particular still resonates today. Stage 14 of the 1988 Giro and the Passo di Gavia.
Perché il Gavia non è soltanto una montagna. È un luogo storico quasi metafisico.
We spoke to riders whose careers were made on that mountain.
So I do a little of this and a snowball. Like I cleared an inch or two of snow off the top of my head.
And to some whose careers needed to be rebuilt.
Per 2 anni ho passato psicologicamente, ero tutto da ricostruire.
This is a story of a stage so extreme that it would be unthinkable in today's cycling, from the riders themselves and from the people who chronicled their suffering.
Una corsa, una tappa che è sfuggita di mano, è diventata incontrollabile.
Io ho visto il mio collega Ilario Biondi cadere 2 volte con la moto davanti a me.
Patron del Tongo, al mio fianco, urla: Mio Dio, muore! Franco muore, fate qualcosa!
That gives me goosebumps, that trailer. Honestly, absolute perler. One rider, apparently, a bit of a spoiler here, still gets pain in his hands from the cold from that day. Imagine that. What is it, like nearly 30 years on? Is it nearly 30? No, 30-something years on, isn't it? Sorry.
Quick maths.
Getting my decades wrong there. It happens when you get to this point. Anyway, elsewhere on GCN Plus, as mentioned, we've got the Giro, of course, live and on demand, plus the Tour of Norway, and also the Ride London women's race as well, to name but 3.
Last chance to get hands on Italian-themed merch also.
That's right, anyway, as sported by us.
I may have fallen over in the park on the way to the GCN set this morning, so it's a little dusty.
It is a little bit dusty. And then, we're talking socks, weren't we? So, the GCN Club, right, each and every month, as you will well know, and if you don't, you're finding out now, you get box fresh, unique pair of socks every month sent direct to your house. These are the Giro ones, which have been looking very swish on our shelves. Yeah. Those are cool.
A lot of detail in there as well.
And then these bad boys. This is the June sock.
Pattern variety, green, white and blue.
So there we go, yeah. What are we up to now? Wow, sock number 60. That is cool, isn't it? So there you go, GCN Club. Make sure you get involved for some snazzy socks.
While Si's putting the beautiful socks away, I think it's a good time to tell you about the Global Bike Festival, which is coming up very soon. We've got some cracking music in the evening, brilliant rides by plenty of the presenters here at GCN and GMBN, and it is all at Sailback, which is an absolutely beautiful destination.
That's right, too. Less than a month away now, would you believe?
It's coming around quick.
It is coming around super quick, isn't it? So yeah, you can still get tickets. There are still some available. So don't miss out. If you fancy a cheeky little break to the Austrian Alps for some road riding, gravel riding, mountain biking, and some drinking with Dan Lloyd.
There you go. Get involved. It should be an absolute ball.
It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle, potentially very topical pink number as well for this week. I think it'll be the last week, won't it?
Yeah.
Because we suddenly stop talking about Italy next week and we start thinking about other things instead.
Yeah, moving to France.
That's right. Via Switzerland.
And plenty of other countries
Absolutely,
too.
yeah. It's busy, isn't it? Anyway, right, we're digressing slightly. You know what to do. Put a witty caption in the comment section down below that relates to a photograph. We're going to pick last week's winner first. This was the photo of Remco approaching his, we think, wife.
Yeah.
Don't we? Anyway, have we got a winner, Conor?
So the winner is Velo David with, we liked this one. So caption, Remco, high five. No, COVID-19.
Nice.
There you go. That was on its way to you.
If you missed last week, Remco Evenepoel, sadly, was basically had to pull out the Giro because he got COVID-19 whilst in the leader's pink jersey, which is pretty brutal. So there we go. Right, we're sticking with the Giro for this week. Very topical, in fact, given what we've just been talking about in cycling shorts. Here's Thibaut Pinot giving a little look back. What are we going for, Conor?
So, in relation to Twitter conversations that were had during the week, I'm going with Pinot speaking to his breakaway companions. There's this weird guy who keeps following me on Twitter and messaging me. Do you know who he is?
That's good. Delivery was on point there. Comic timing. Perfect.
I mean, yeah.
You really set it up.
Thanks, Si. Yeah.
Bang. Yeah, no, that's cool.
I thought that was a good
I like it. I'm only messing with you. Have yourself a pink bottle, mate. Go on.
I do want the pink one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Can I have that one, seriously?
Yeah, I think you can actually, because we.
I can't.
I mean, not for the captions.
Go on, then,
you're a
I'll have
GCN presenter, but yeah. Anyway, there we go. Right, if you think you can better Conor's caption,
I thought that was a really good caption.
I thought that was a good one as well, mate. Yeah, I really did.
I'll get there eventually.
Get involved in the comment section down below, and we will pick a winner next week.
Yeah, thanks for supporting me, everyone. It's time for comment of the week now, where we go through some of our favourite comments from you guys. Starting off with, what cycling mistakes do you keep making over and over again? Stephen Gibbs got in touch with this one. Buy a new bike because I'll sell my old one, and now I have 5. That is true.
It is weirdly true. The amount of times where you're like, I'll sell the old one. And then somehow it's like, I can't part with it, or I can't be bothered. And then, before you know it, the old one has devalued to the point where there's no point selling it anymore. And then, anyway, but there we go. Steve M, you had me properly laughing with this one. I fell off in the garage once, relating to something we were talking about last week. Not on a train or anything, just sitting on it like you do. Ended up with a separated shoulder. Fortunately, I wasn't peeing at the time because that would have taken some explaining. Oh my word. Yeah, that honestly, I was chuckling at that. But yeah, I think it's probably a good idea not to wee in your garage anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Because that kind of thing, like...
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No, not really.
Hard to get rid of the smell.
But yeah, there you go.
Right, this one was sent in by Ema QVE under top tips and tricks for bikepacking on a budget. The best tip I've ever heard is just go on whatever bike you have. Don't wait for that dream gravel bike. Just get out there. And that is a good tip.
Absolutely.
You can do it on whatever. You can just go find a camp spot, enjoy the sunrise and sunset, and away you are.
That is true, actually. It's like, yeah, just crack on and do it.
Yeah,
it can feel quite daunting, can't it?
It can. You can think of a million excuses why not to do it.
And you can think of a million bits of kit that you need in order to be able to do it, but fundamentally you probably don't actually need any of it.
Yeah, and you can figure it all out on the fly.
Yeah. You can always get yourself out there. On Hank's how to go from your couch to cycling 50 miles, David Garcia said, many thanks to Hank's dad for volunteering for this effort, and also to Hank's dad's son for helping him as well. So yeah, it's a convoluted way of saying it, isn't it? But that'll be cool. I don't know how many likes that's got. Hank was after like 15,000 likes on that video in order for his dad to attempt couch to 50k. Or he's not doing badly. think you need to give him a bit more love. So check that out. He's on 6,500.
Oh, it's
likes.
doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
So yeah, Hank's dad's going to be rubbing his hands in glee, sitting there on his couch, not going for a bike ride. So you lot know what you need to do. And then under my video about how much fitter to get from 2 weeks bike packing, Mark Sticky68 said, normally it's the opposite due to the amount of mineral waters consumed on holiday. Yeah, that's true, but you don't want to drink at high altitude.
No, I was going to say.
That
sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Right, this was also sent in by Anti-Tapio. After bike packing trips, I get boost for Zone 2 riding. It feels really easy, but it doesn't affect much to my Zone 4. If I ride harder than Zone 2, it feels terrible.
Fortunately, I didn't get that. So I must have done enough, maybe it was the altitude that did that. I don't know. But I feel quite good off the back of it.
Still feel good?
I feel good, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm loving life on the bicycle.
I have seen you. You have got quite a lot of energy around the place today.
Yeah. That's true. And then final comment of the week, under Manon's training for the hardest challenge of my life. Percy TP said, such an inspiration, Manon. We can sometimes get lost in focusing on the end goal. The hard work you put in beforehand is the tough bit. The determination, drive and perseverance. Keep up the great work. So that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. All those comments under Manon's video put a right smile on her face. Poked it back up.
Definitely.
All right then, what's coming up on the GCN channel this week?
On Wednesday, 6 reasons to ride solo, and on Thursday, don't ruin your ride before you've started.
Whoa, that's a good one.
I was drawing on a few little flashbacks I had myself of
really?
ways I've messed up my own ride. And a few others as well.
Yeah, all right. And then on Friday, why and how to train your anaerobic capacity. So check that one out. I think it's something we should all be doing. On Saturday, average dad versus Zoncolan. So, arguably the toughest climb in pro cycling. What happens when a average dad tries to ride up it?
You're a beast!
Yeah!
Beast! Come on!
Oh, God.
Find out. And then on Sunday, says here, Conor's FKT attempt. What's this one, mate?
We said it now, so I can't back out.
We have Sunday's video.
So
you haven't done it yet?
Haven't done it yet. I'm actually giving it a go tomorrow. So it's a double ridgeway, 280 kilometres long. Gonna do it in one hit. Never done an FKT before. Never pushed myself on my own like this before. On an off-road course. I'm absolutely breaking it. I hadn't realised, so I don't know how it's going to pan out.
Wow.
But yeah, give it a watch. Hope you enjoy it. And
I hope you enjoy it as well, mate.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it.
You will.
There'll be a moment when the pain will bite, but that's why I sign up for these
Could be many moments, but yeah, it'd be great. And that is cheeky bit of last-minute training, isn't it, Conor, for Unbound, which is looming large.
It is. I'm pretty excited for it. I can't wait.
Mate, yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
I was going to tell you, actually, Si, there's some new kind of segments been put into the race this year. A few of which go over private land.
Right.
Where there's lots of cows.
You serious?
Lots of cows. So
rather you than me, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to change places and give it a go yourself.
No, I really don't.
No, you're good with it.
92 million cows.
A lot of cows.
No wonder there are 20 fatalities a year. Just the sheer volume of them.
I know. But I love how statistics put things into context. You know, you're more likely to get injured by a falling coconut than a shark.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually a true fact.
Yeah.
Walking to the beach, coconut hits you on the head.
Yeah, that's true. I believe statistically humans are significantly far more dangerous than black bears. You're far more likely to get killed by a human than you are a black bear.
Really?
Yeah. There you go. Some bangers of facts for you to finish with the GCN show, if anyone's still here. Hello. Right, thank you very much for watching this week. Give it a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And remember as well, tune in to the Giro d'Italia this week. It is shaping up to be
This is going to be some week.
Some fireworks to come.